Hey YouTubers, this is KillerGay6, aka Raymond. Well, here it is, guys, the first look on the Avengers Infinity Wars. Now, guys, let's remind everybody that this might be a two-part movie, or this might be just one movie only. But the part one's coming out next year in 2018, and the next part two is coming out in 2019. It's kind of hard to believe that we got to wait that long to see this film, two parts. But I mean, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be one of the greatest Avengers films right here because we're about to see one of the greatest villains of all time, Thanos, with the Infinity Gauntlet, with the 6 Infinity Stones. So, let's take a look.
Before creation itself, there were 6 singularities.
The orb.
Forged into
Ether.
Infinity Stone.
Mind Stone. Time Stone. We just saw the Tesseract and January 23rd. Last month. Day 1.
This is our first day. Here we are in Pinewood in Atlanta, and it's
the Guardians of the Galaxy?
pretty unbelievable.
With Spider-Man.
One of what promises to be a year of fun-filled lensing.
I remember actually going to see the first Avengers with one of my best mates from home, and I'd never have dreamed that I'd ever be in one of these movies, let alone playing Spider-Man. I feel like I'm on top of the world because this is just mind-blowing.
Oh, here we go. Let's see.
What we always try to do at Marvel Studios is we're building the cinematic universe, is look at the big picture, how can things relate across movies and across years. Avengers Infinity War is the culmination of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe as started in May of 2008 with the release of Iron Man 1. And it really is an unprecedented culmination of a series of films interlinked together, which at the time had never been done before. And for us, the important thing is making it all come together. We know they're going to face Thanos. We've been setting that up since Avengers 1. How do you do that in a way that is unexpected, that pits the Avengers against somebody who is more powerful than anyone they faced, and yet make them completely unprepared to face him? Well, tear them apart, which is why we did Civil War before Infinity War.
As we were conceiving and executing Civil War, the end of that movie was very much a setup for what these movies would be. We always had the sense of that.
Tony is not talking to Steve. The Avengers are basically a name with nobody in it. The world is vulnerable.
Tony senses this greater threat approaching, and so he is doing everything in his power to keep the Earth safe.
Thanos shows us why he's the biggest, the best, the baddest villain that we've ever had, and the most frightening villain that the Avengers have ever faced.
The most exciting part is the incredible roster of well-developed characters, and it's going to create a really combustible, exciting, massive-scale adventure.
You know that we're onto something within the studio when we hit upon an idea or we see a piece of concept art and all of us in the room go, this is cool. And in Avengers Infinity War, the Avengers will meet the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wow.
Because of what Marvel is, because of what they have done over the last 10 years, these next two Avengers films will be an event like no one has ever seen on film before.
The Ether, the Tesseract. That's where he comes in. This Adonis is fine. I'll do it myself. Oh man. I can't wait. Now we've seen. Now let's get backtrack, guys. It's like how Vision says during the 8 years. This is back on the Civil War. During the 8 years when Tony Stark became Iron Man, a number of bad things started to happen, and ever since then, it just rose to a big rate because there's a lot of bad villains out there who have evolved, like Ultron, like Crossbones. I mean, we've seen a lot of things happen within the years. Now, we saw the first year. We saw how the heroes got their start. We saw Iron Man, we saw Thor, we saw Captain America, the Hulk, everybody. Now in part 2, this is where they were starting being together right now. They got together, now they were able to be together. Now we saw Captain America's version. We've seen how he was knowing that the place where he thought was going to be peace, Shield, was actually Hydra. Hydra was able to be in there. And then we saw Tony Stark building all these suits, trying to prepare for what's worse out there. And the thing was terrible. I mean, we saw Thor. That's when we saw the Infinity Stones coming up. Well, actually, in Captain America Civil War, not Captain America Civil War, the first Avenger, we saw the very first Infinity Stone, which was the Tesseract. And then after that, when the Avengers came out, we saw Loki's Scepter, which later became, in the Age of Ultron Avengers, we found out that that was actually the Mind Stone. And that's the strange thing, because Thanos gave that to him. So why would he do that? But you never know. But then after that, on Thor Dark World, we saw the Ether. And after that, that was the third one. And now the fifth one, we saw the Orb from Guardians of the Galaxy, which that's cool how we're able to see that they're coming together. So guys, that's 4. That's 4 we saw. And then we saw the 5th Infinity Stone, which was Doctor Strange. The Eye of Agamotto, which was the Time Stone. So, despite all that, we got one left, and that's the Soul Stone. Now, I have my predictions of where the Soul Stone might be. We're thinking that it might be in the Thor Ragnarok film, because there's 2 people that might have it. There's Hela, who is Loki's daughter, which is the goddess of death, which will be played by Cate Blanchett, an Oscar winner from the movie Blue Jasmine. Or, I have a feeling that it might be Heimdall, the gatekeeper, who has that big long sword. He's the one who actually took down that Dark Elf ship with the 2 daggers. Because if you guys see his eyes are orange. Now, when you see that the Infinity Stone is actually an orange gem. So, I have a feeling that Heimdall might have it. But I think what we might see that Heimdall might get killed. I don't know. Those are my my predictions. That's my prediction right there, that we're actually seeing that. But it's like how these directors said. That's how Thanos wants to see it. He knows that, I don't know if he knows or not, we will see that the team is disbanded. They're separated. So I think what we're about to see are these guys are willing to put their differences aside, despite what happened. I think we all knew what happened, because in Captain America Civil War, we saw them disband because of the Sokovia Accords, where superheroes should register and then they should fight on their time. Or will we see them come together and fight for the world? Will they put their differences aside? We'll see. Because judging from what we saw with Iron Man and Captain America, that the Winter Soldier was the one who killed his parents, but we know that he was under control by Hydra. But I think what hurt Tony the most was his friend, Captain America, knew about it, but he didn't tell him. I think that's real hurt right there. But you know what? I think along the way he'll learn that hating him won't bring his parents back. So I think this will take time. Maybe this is why this is part 2. Maybe we'll see them come together, but they're not going to listen to each other. So both teams are going to fight recklessly against Thanos, and I think they will get slaughtered badly. They'll be beaten up very badly. So that's what we'll see. I bet that's what we'll see in the first part. We'll see. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more reaction, more gameplay. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed this. Next year, we're going to see it, guys. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget, stay positive.